Hi, friends. I come to you on Pentecost, a day that we're meant to be joyful in celebrating the gift of the pouring of the Holy Spirit upon God's people, and certainly we are. But I come to you also weary and tired and sad and angry, and I know that some of you are as well, because we've seen more lives lost because of skin color in our country. We've been reminded of how little we've actually come as a nation in regards to racism and prejudice and bias, social equality. I have spent the weekend trying to come up with the words to say. I have written a lot of words. I have spoken a lot of words aloud, and I just feel like they all fall short. And worse won't even matter, because they've all been said in different ways and in different times. And it would be so easy for me to say I'm just done and to throw up my hands and to get back under the covers today. I know that that's how some are feeling. I've seen people express that this morning and heard it, that turning on the news just depresses them and they want to get back under the covers and wait for tomorrow to be a better day. But that's our privilege if we can feel that way. That's our privilege if we can turn away, because we know that there's so many in our country and in our world who don't have that privilege. And so let's be honest, because it's overdue time to be honest. This is not a political issue. This is a human issue. This is a love issue. This is sin. And I dare say that it is sin that we all suffer from in some ways. We know what Jesus has taught us, friends, about loving one another and how we're called to treat one another. And we know, especially this day that we celebrate Pentecost, that the outpouring of the Spirit was given to all of us, that the church was birthed for all. And we proclaim that through the gift of the Spirit, we're given the power to resist evil, to resist injustice, to resist oppression, we say, in whatever forms they present themselves. We proclaim that in our baptisms. We take vows and say that we will resist. We do that when we renew our baptisms, just like we did this past Easter Sunday. But do we fulfill that vow? Do we use that power that we proclaim? Because, again, we need to be honest, that we all hold prejudices and bias, both implicit and explicit, and that we also are complicit when we are silent, that we are complicit when we turn away, we're complicit when we don't take action, and we're complicit when we don't seek to understand or learn more. And I know that this upsets some people when these points are made, but I just encourage you to take some self-reflection. Because racism and prejudice and bias, they destroy a core understanding of our faith, the Imago Dei, that we were created in God's image, that we are bearers of God's image, and explicitly or implicitly, we allow color of skin to blur that image. We can't just teach that racism is wrong. We can't just say that it's wrong. We must do something. We must act. We must resist. This is what our faith and being a Christian calls us to do. It's not enough for me to teach my young child that it is wrong to judge another person based on their color, or to create perceptions or ideas of whether we should fear somebody because of their color, or how that should affect us, how we treat them or view them. That's not enough. I have to teach my daughter how to counter that when she faces it, and to confront it and to speak up against it. We are called to rise up and to stand firm and to resist evil and injustice and oppression through our own actions and through our words, and for us to take time to learn and to understand this more. We have work to do, and it's kingdom work, but we also have self-work. And I say that knowing that I have work to do, things that I don't always recognize or acknowledge, and certainly times where I have not been a voice or enough of a voice when I could have been. We all have work to do. And this is work that we can faithfully do together. work that must be done if we truly want to fulfill bringing about the kingdom on earth, if we truly want to work towards becoming who God has truly created us to be. And a place to start is with prayer. But it can't be the only thing that we do. Prayer needs to lead to action. We should pray for what God needs us to hear, what God needs us to see in ourselves, what God needs us to do. And then let that lead us. Let it engage us in conversation. Let it make us seek to educate ourselves. I invite you to join me in that work, to do it individually and to do it together, because it must be done. We're already planning a study at Crooks that we want to offer online around race and having conversations, and we're thinking about a potential book club. These are just starting places for a much needed exploration and conversation, probably overdue for many of us and especially for our congregation. In the meantime, stand firm, church. Stand firm in the place of injustice. Stand firm in the place where our faith is being weaponized for political purpose and for gain. Stand firm in knowing that the gift of the Holy Spirit has been given to us to resist evil and oppression and injustice. Stand firm and seek to do the good work of the kingdom to which we are called. That's a call to be part of the solution, to not be part of the problem. And friends, we know that might make us uncomfortable and it might feel messy. But friends, when has following Jesus Christ fully and truly not done that? Let's do this together. Let's do the work.